Hey, folks. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what is really happening over there with the Russia-Ukraine war. And since I live in Illinois and I have a lot of listeners that listen to the show from Illinois, I'm going to touch a little bit on how I felt the debate between Pritzker and Darren Bailey went last Thursday, along with a whole bunch of other things. I'm Laoch, and this is Laoch's When the Hammer Drops. All right, folks. So before we get into the bigger stuff like Ukraine and Pritzker and Darren Bailey and all that stuff, first, I got to tell you. So Gavin Newsom's back in the news yet again from his idiotic, let's threaten our doctors by saying, if you tell your patients not to get the COVID shot, you will be fined and possibly lose your license, to now every child in the state of California, if you want to go to school, guess what? You need the COVID vaccine. Even though everybody else, every other state is not mandating that. They took those mandates down, and our pandemic is over per your president, but yet you're going to still demand and mandate the children get the vaccine. That's funny. Actually, it's not funny. It's kind of very concerning because that is taking away your rights right there, folks. He is really trying to swing his little Pepe like he's got something. And that is dictatorship 101. I guess that's why they're saying that he's a presidential hopeful. I mean, I guess they're grooming him to be a dictator. Just like Joseph Biden. You know, it's kind of weird how that is. But, I mean, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? I mean, your aunt, Miss Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, I mean, she's kind of the same way. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't worry about what I do. Do as I say type bullshit, right? You're kind of the same way. I bet you if it was your kids wouldn't, you would not be demanding your kids to get, or mandating your kids to get a vaccine that has been proven to kill people. But what do I know, right? I mean, look at Florida. The Surgeon General in Florida posted on Twitter that it is not recommending people, males or anybody actually from the ages of 18 to 39, getting the vaccine because of it causing cardiac arrest. And it's funny, this is the Surgeon General posting this to Twitter, his Twitter account. And not even a couple hours later, poof, it was taken down by Twitter as misinformation. So I swear you can't make this shit up. So the Surgeon General in Florida is getting basically, and he's a doctor and he follows the science, but yet he's getting his stuff pulled because it's going against the narrative. You see what's happening here, folks? It's the narrative that they're still trying to get going or keep going, but too many people have woken up to it and they don't like that. So now they're backtracking a little bit or trying to keep going forward, but yeah. So, what are you going to do? So, hey, if you're listening to this right now on a podcast platform like Apple or Spotify, do me a huge favor. It's going to help me in the algorithms. Give me a 5-star and give me a review so I can get the show and this content out to more and more people. If you're watching the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you're notified anytime that another episode is coming out. I'd appreciate it. Now, let's get back to the show. I'm going to do that here and there, folks, just so you know. I'm also, just so you guys know, eventually here, I would have to say within the next month or so, I will be officially completely 100% done with YouTube. So all my videos will be just going straight to Rumble. I'm hoping I have a guest that I will be having in the next couple weeks. And my goal is with this guest that's coming on that I will be banned 100% from YouTube. So definitely make sure that you are following me on Rumble if you want to see any of the videos. Or else you can find them on Facebook. Actually, I probably won't even be able to have them on Facebook. So Rumble's going to be the only place you're going to be able to see this. So remember that. Now, let's get on to the debate between Darren Bailey, Republican, and good old fat ass himself, Pritzker. Now, I will say this about that debate. I honestly feel that neither one of them seemed very well prepared. I felt that there was questions and that were asked to Darren Bailey that he didn't really answer them, and neither did Pritzker. Pritzker definitely was patting himself on the back for the whole 1% that we're saving at the grocery store, and the 3 cents or 2 cents or whatever the hell we're saving on the pump for the gas tax. Like, it's really helping us. This is my advice to Pritzker. If you truly wanted to help Illinois families out, you would have, and not this, I'm going to send you each family or each person $50. I mean, thanks for the $100, but really, it didn't do shit for me. So I just, whatever. If you really want to help the families out, maybe, we got one of the highest in gas taxes in the country. Maybe take away, not 3 cents, maybe that 39 cents or whatever it is now in the gas tax to, bring down the gas prices a little bit. But, gas prices are going to keep going up. And it's kind of sad because that's going to be the downfall of the Democrats, I think, come this midterms, is gas prices affect every American. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. It affects us all. And if you have to make that choice between putting gas in your car to get to work or paying this bill or buying food, which one are you going to do? 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the food. But in order to get the food, you need to have the gas to get to work. You see where I'm going with this? Gas makes everything go round. And the one thing that they don't want you to know about is like, this is just, is it the oil companies that's doing it? Or is it really our government that's doing it? I think it's a mixture of both, to be honest with you. I think it's a mixture between our government and the big oil companies trying to make money. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I know that's not part of what I should be talking about when it comes to Pritzker and Darren Bailey, but that's just my opinion. Now, Pritzker, you can take away that tax on gas to help Illinoisans moving forward, because we know come January, we're going to get hit with another gas tax because now midterms is over. So it doesn't really matter now, right? Right, Pritzker? So you're just, fooling the people. So, I mean, if you haven't woken up to Pritzker and what kind of bullshit the Democrats are doing, I'm going to say this one more time. The Democrats and Pritzker dumped $35 million in campaign ads for Pro to go for Bailey because they figured that Bailey would be the easiest person to win against. $35 million, folks. They put into campaign, for him in ads and all this stuff. So hopefully that's a huge miss that they're going to be missing, that $35 million, and hopefully Darren Bailey actually wins. But again, like at that debate, I tell you what, there was questions, and I know it was kind of one-sided. You can really tell that it was really one-sided when it came down to some of the questions that was asked to Bailey, because, WGN, it was on WGN, and we all know that WGN is pro-Pritzker. They always have been. They're always pro-Democrats. So you're a Republican candidate, you're not going to get the time of day on our local news, unfortunately, whether it's WGN, Fox, CBS, NBC, or ABC. You're not going to get a fair shake. They're going to run all Democrat bullshit, or rhinos. That's pretty much what you're going to see on those channels. The one thing that is concerning about what is happening with Darren Bailey is, I turn on YouTube and I hear nothing but stuff for Pritzker, commercials for Pritzker. Where's Darren Bailey's? Like, I don't think I've seen maybe one or two commercials for Darren Bailey. That's about it. The rest of it's been Pritzker. Pritzker's really, his campaigning has really hitting hard. And you see the commercials all the time. Whereas Darren Bailey, you don't. And I think, if anything, that's going to be the one thing that's going to kill Bailey come election time. And I hate to say it like that because I don't want Pritzker to win, because I know if Pritzker wins, we're really screwed. And I'd go as far as probably wanting to get the hell out of this state, to be honest with you. That's how bad it's going to get. With all the new laws that are coming in, that we need a governor in there that can stop it. But we have Darren Bailey. Man, I don't know if, as you like to put it, friend, I think you need to step it up, sir. I know your grassroots campaigning that you've been doing. I don't think it's working. I hope I'm wrong. You have my vote, and I know a lot of people that are voting for you. I hope that does help, but we'll see. We need Pritzker out of office. We need him gone. It's kind of like, I kind of look at it like this right now. All right. And I think this is how maybe the Democrats of Illinois are looking at it. Like, during the 2020 election, people didn't vote for Trump because they didn't like Trump. So they voted for Joe Biden. And now those people are regretting it. So it's kind of the same principle that's happening now, I think. We don't like Pritzker. A lot of people don't like Pritzker, but for some reason, they're going to campaign. Okay, they're betting on the campaign of Pritzker because, the one thing that they've been attacking with Darren Bailey is about abortion. Folks, I don't know how much clearer I can be about this. All the Supreme Court did, it wasn't take away the rights for abortions. It gave it up to the states to make that decision. That's it. So it's up to the state that you live in to decide whether or not abortion is legal or illegal and what the terms can be. It's up to the state. Okay. I don't think Darren Bailey is completely against abortion. I know he's come out and said that, or according, to the propaganda ads that Pritzker's put out, kind of leads to that. But in the cases of incest, rape, if the mother's well-being is at risk, stuff like that, those are legitimate reasons for an abortion. Some of the things that are not a legitimate reason for an abortion is, I don't like the sex of my baby, so I want to abort it. What are you thinking? So, and unfortunately, that happens a lot. But the Democrats are hoping that is going to be their solid ground to win on. Now, again, I don't think, and I said this, I don't think either one of them really were very well prepared for this debate. But I did like where Bailey was coming off. We need to focus on our schools. We need to make sure our kids are learning the proper things, not this CRT training bullshit. That crap needs to go. The bullshit of, trying to indoctrinate our kids with this LGBTQ stuff. Learn about it. Yes, I agree. That's fine. But when you're in high school, you don't need to teach kids this crap. And I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but ask me if I really care, because I don't. This is my opinion. And my opinion is our kids need to be, especially pre-high school, need to be focused on learning about our history, your typical math, science, all that stuff, not all this excess bullshit. And when it comes to our children, you should not be teaching them anything about sex at all. I've said this in other shows and I'm saying it again. You shouldn't. Bottom line. And this is where I like, and I hope that if you're a family person, you got to really look at it with Darren Bailey on this one, because that is huge. Second Amendment rights is another huge. Becoming a Second Amendment constitutional state would be another one. We need these things. Now, I'm not saying that, of course, but the Democrats want to attack, gun control and Second Amendment rights and all this stuff, because you don't need 30 round mag. No, you're right. I'm not going to use it for hunting. I'm not going to use it for sport. I'm going to use it for defending my home. Why are you trying to want to take that away from me? It's not our fault that you guys here, especially here in Illinois, the state police allowed the parent of that jackass from Highland Park to get his FOID card, even though he was a threat and the state police knew about it. But he still got his FOID card because his parents signed off on it. And the state of Illinois state police allowed it. This falls directly on them, folks, not the gun manufacturers, because let's face it. Here, I'm going to show you something here real quick. This is a piece of paper, right? See, for the people that are listening on the podcast, I'm holding up a piece of paper. Now, imagine if this piece of paper was a gun. I'm holding it. Okay, I'm going to set it down now. Okay, I just set it down. Okay, hold on. Piece of paper. Go kill somebody. It's still sitting there, folks. The paper didn't do it. So the paper didn't kill anybody, folks. And that kind of, the gun, yes. A gun cannot get up off its seat or out of its safe and go kill somebody. The dumbass with the mental problem has to physically pick up that weapon, load it, and pull the trigger. The gun doesn't pull the trigger. Okay, the gun manufacturer isn't there to pull the trigger. So it is solely on the person that is operating or holding that firearm that is doing this. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Enough about, I guess, how I feel about the Darren Bailey and Pritzker thing, because I'm going to vote for Bailey. That's just me. I will not vote for Pritzker. We need to get rid of his ass. So with that being said, let's get on to the Ukraine-Russia war. Whew. So it is said that Ukraine has done some terrorist acts towards Russia, like blowing up the bridge in Crimea, whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it very well. So what does Russia do? Russia retaliates by bombarding Ukraine with missiles. Missile got so close to Zelensky, I think it was like maybe merely blocks away from his office in Kiev. The only people in Ukraine I feel bad for and feel sorry for, to be honest with you, are the citizens. The ones that want nothing to do with this. Because this is, let's face it, this was brought on by the globalists. They, with what, all right, let me put it this way, folks. What does Ukraine have that everybody seems to want? They have energy, they have oil, they have great farmland, probably the best farmland in Europe. And globalists have already staked claim to those areas. Hence, a little Hunter, the laptop, Hunter's laptop, the energy group that he was a part of in Ukraine. Any of this ringing a bell? Or how about how Joe Biden got that state's attorney or the prosecuting attorney fired in Ukraine before they would give him millions of dollars and that's when he was a vice president for Obama. Go figure. The U.S., the deep state, have their claws so far into Ukraine, they're not willing to give it up. And that's why this is going to continue. I said in a couple episodes about Nord Stream 1 and 2. And like I thought, you have the politicians, you have mainstream media, you have all of them all on the same page saying that, pretty much Russia did it. When the CIA themselves told Germany, yeah, you can expect in the next couple of weeks that this is going to happen. I mean, come on. You can't make this crap up. So, but again, the mainstream media with the propaganda and all that stuff over here, I mean, they're making us all seem like Russia is losing. Are they? No, I don't think so. I think Russia has been holding back. And now I think since they've taken over those areas, the Donbass area and all that stuff, I think a lot of that is now that that's complete. I mean, that should say something right there. They took control of some big chunks. So, I mean, if Russia was really losing, they wouldn't be able to gain that control. And why would Ukraine assassinate, a government official's daughter? I mean, come on, an innocent person you're going to assassinate? Or is it just collateral damage? Who knows? So, before you believe everything that the mainstream media is going to tell you, or even before what you believe what I'm going to say, I believe in research, and I will always tell you to, don't believe me, research it for yourself. There's plenty, plenty of places that you can go to research. I wouldn't Google search things a lot nowadays because you can't really trust Google. Brave is a great place. Free Spoken is another great place to actually find information. At the Epoch Times, the Vision Times. These are all areas and all places that you can actually get real news without it being, in favor of one or the other. So those are definitely good places to go check out. But this Russia thing with Ukraine, I think it's, the missiles and all that stuff have really been taking effect today. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. So I'll touch base on that a little bit more towards midweek on my next episode. But I think for now, I think that's where I'm going to leave it, folks. Now, again, if you are listening to this on the podcast, any of the podcast platforms, do me a favor. Don't forget to give me 5 stars. Give me a review. Helps with the show with the algorithms and helps me to be able to get the show and the content out to many more. Definitely don't forget to on Rumble and YouTube. YouTube's only for a little short time, but I'll still be there for right now. But over on Rumble, make sure you subscribe to those channels. I'll provide a link for all of our social media so you can follow us everywhere, from Instagram to TikTok to Facebook to wherever. I'll provide all the links down below. And until the next time, folks, you guys be good to each other. We'll see you guys, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. All right.